It was 2 weeks ago since the Royal Rumble, and we're back with yet another pay-per-view. Hello, everyone. This is Neo Reality Entertainment. Okay, Elimination Chamber is coming. We just had the final SmackDown of the year at the time of this recording for Elimination Chamber this year. So let's get right into it. Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. This is a feud that has been building and building and building for months and months and months and months since October, since Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton happened, and then Randy Orton joined the Wyatt family, and you got the subtle hints about Luke Harper and Randy Orton interacting, like, yeah, they're gonna try and get along just for Bray Wyatt's sake, and then they're gonna then one or the other's gonna turn on the other. My money was gonna be Randy Orton, but then it went to Luke Harper, who was just looking like he was frothing at the mouth every time when Bray Wyatt chose Randy Orton over him. And especially in the tag team title picture, when Bray Wyatt finally won tag team gold, or silver in this case, and Luke Harper was just the third wheel on this. I'm pretty sure it got to him, and this feud was building since December. Well, like I say, it's technically been since October, since Luke Harper's been jealous of Randy Orton's affiliation with the Wyatts, and now you got it all exploding now, and now Randy Orton versus Luke Harper's official for Elimination Chamber. And yeah, we all know what's gonna happen. Luke Harper is just a warm-up match for Randy Orton, because Randy Orton's gonna be in the main event of WrestleMania this year. So what really makes you think Luke Harper's gonna actually get the win here? But this has mostly been about trying to get Bray Wyatt's attention. It's like two brothers going at it, trying to get their dad's approval. Luke Harper wants it. Randy Orton is pretending to want it, since I'm still believing that he's going to turn on Bray Wyatt and say he was indoctrinated and broke free from it, or just pretend he was indoctrinated to them and just decide to destroy them from within. But Luke Harper is now free of Bray Wyatt's control, like it was shown on the week after. Sorry. It was shown after the Royal Rumble pay-per-view that Bray Wyatt had this hold over Luke Harper. Like, even after breaking off of them and attacking Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble, he still had this control over him. And this led to an interesting angle they were going with here. And now it seems like Randy and Luke Harper has finally broken off from the Wyatt's control. And now it's going to be settled between Luke Harper and Randy Orton. Though between Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt, well, I think I know who Bray Wyatt's post WrestleMania feud's going to be with. I'll get to that in a moment. So now we got that out of the way, and Luke Harper. Oh, one more thing. Luke Harper has established good motives. Like, I'll get to Mickie James in a minute, but yeah, Luke Harper has established good motives here. Whereas a lot of whereas Natalya and Nikki Bella's feud, it started off interesting and then just weird. But moving on. Now we got Apollo Crews and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler turned heel, then Apollo Crews stood up for Kalisto, and this led to a back and forth feud between Dolph Ziggler, Kalisto, and Apollo Crews. Not really ganging up on Ziggler, but more like coming to the aid of one another, and Ziggler just getting temperamental every time when he loses a match and wins a match. Should I also mention that Dolph Ziggler threatened to murder Jerry Lawler? Yeah, WWE, can you tone down the death angle threats? Like, I know Jerry Lawler isn't dead, but you just basically said, yeah, Dolph Ziggler's gonna murder him. And in real life, we both know how that would go, right? You get arrested by the police, and this time, there are thousands of witnesses that showed you on it, and millions across the world on TV. So, if they really wanted to go with an ultra-realistic angle here, yeah, Dolph Ziggler would be arrested. But they didn't do that. That wouldn't make too much sense. So now it's accumulating to a Apollo Crews and Kalisto handicap match against Dolph Ziggler, and some people speculate and jokingly said that Dolph Ziggler might need some help on this, and they're jokingly saying Kevin Nash, because for Kevin Nash, he's been saying in interviews that he would like to be Dolph Ziggler's new bodyguard if Dolph Ziggler was to turn heel, and now Dolph Ziggler's turned heel, and it seems the lights are right. But however, Kevin Nash is getting a surgery soon. His 31st, I must add. Really should stop after that. But now they're going to have to find someone else to replace the bodyguard role if they're going to go that angle. But yeah, I'm liking this heel turn that Dolph Ziggler's going through. But it really needs to start developing more in the coming weeks after Elimination Chamber. So I like to see where this is going. And I'm really glad Apollo Crews is finally getting some, forbidden development, because he's been stagnant, just remaining the same happy-go-lucky, smiling good guy. And Kalisto's just been there. And the fans like those. And the fans like Ziggler more than the other two. Like, fans were chanting, one more time, for Ziggler to strike Kalisto with a steel chair, and then Apollo Crews. Yeah, why should people boo Dolph Ziggler? Because Dolph Ziggler has become, because you understand where Dolph Ziggler's coming from. Like, he's become so obsessed trying to be the best that it's consumed him, because he loses so much, and it feels like what he's done before is not working, and now he has to go in a different direction. But yeah, the fans just can't help but like Ziggler because he's so good at what he does. Especially after his feud with The Miz back in 2016. So, yeah, there's also a problem with that, considering how great that storyline was, and now they just can't imagine Ziggler being a bad guy, and when he is acting like a bad guy, and it works, but they just like him more because, oh, well, he does better as a bad guy. So, yeah, there's that. Now we get to Mickie James versus Becky Lynch, and I must add, there are 3 women matches going on for this pay-per-view. Whereas on Raw, they probably would add just mostly 1 or occasionally 2, but 3? Okay, that's different. And especially all of them have their own storylines going on, whereas like 2 are connected and yet the other one isn't. But there are basically 3 storylines going on, and essentially Raw doesn't do that. Like, mostly they just have one storyline and think they can branch it out to multiple matches for the women's division. Like, you got Bayley, Sasha Banks taking on Dana Brooke and Charlotte back in 2016. And really, yeah, how is that working out? Oh, wait, Dana Brooks disappeared. Bayley's currently feuding with Charlotte right now. Sasha Banks is feuding with Nia Jax, and they're set to accumulate in a Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania. So, and I have no idea what happened to Dana Brooks. She just disappeared. She might team up with Emelina again. I don't understand why they repackaged her when they had the gimmick that was working so well. But oh well. I'll have to give this new gimmick a chance, even though probably we don't really want to. So, Mickie James cost Becky Lynch the opportunity to regain the Women's Championship in a steel cage match after being revealed as La Luchadora. And I was like, okay, they have to come up with a reasonable motivation as to why she would team up with the Women's Champion of SmackDown instead of not going after it. And then she gave the motivation, and I was like, logic! For God's sakes, it's logic! SmackDown is the place to be, man! You get logical storylines! Mickie James feels like she's been overlooked. She's been glossed over through the annals of time. Like, and I understand that. Like, every time when they talk about the women's revolution of the past, they talk about Trish Stratus, Fabulous Moolah, Lita, Mae Young. But really, they don't even talk about Mickie James. They just like, let's just sweep her to the side. That also could be because she worked for TNA around that time and left afterwards, or was in the independent scene, and WWE hates that for some reason. Though SmackDown has mentioned TNA multiple times, so they could have done that. But they didn't. But, like, yeah, Mickie James has been mostly glossed over throughout this, and they rarely ever mention her achievements. So it makes sense that she feels angry and frustrated at Becky Lynch and the Four Horsewomen. In fact, if the Four Horsewomen were all together on SmackDown, she could go after all of them. That actually would be interesting. If Mickie James gets drafted to Raw, or vice versa, one of the Four Horsewomen get drafted to SmackDown, That could make for some compelling, interesting feuds. Mickie James going after the four horsewomen. Like, first is Becky Lynch, then it's going to be Bayley, then it's going to be Sasha Banks, and then it's going to be Charlotte. That would make interesting concept feuds. They just have to be on the same brand. So now, I was surprised that Mickie James's team lost at Royal Rumble because I was expecting Mickie James to get the win for her team on the grounds of, well, it's her first match back technically, and you would think that they would let her go over to like establish that she's still strong and still dominant as she used to be. But they didn't do that. So I think this is what's going to happen. She's going to get the victory over Becky Lynch, and well, that's that. After that, they move on or continue this feud. I don't know. So now we got that feud out of the way. Let's get to a storyline that interconnects with it. Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. Now, this one had little storyline going into the show, but like even then, like at least they're putting in some effort, whereas Raw they just shoehorn everything in. So yeah, at least they're trying to put some effort, and the whole everyone kind of forgot about Naomi. Like even I forgot about Naomi after she got injured. Like, oh wait, she got injured? Huh. I remembered that months ago, but then I forgot about it. Like, she just hasn't been doing anything, so really, yeah, why? Like, okay, the injury's bad and whatnot, but in terms of storylines, what she was going for at the time, there was nothing, so really, it's easy to forget about that. So, yeah. So they reference that a lot in this feud between her and Alexa Bliss, since she returned on the SmackDown before Royal Rumble, and then they just kept building this up. And Alexa Bliss lost a lot of matches in between then and now, since like they're not keeping her strong to look like a dominant women's champion, or at least intelligent. But now it just seems like they're building Naomi up. So is she gonna win? Like they hinted at it when she mentioned that her hometown is gonna host WrestleMania in Florida. So like I'm wondering, are they gonna have Naomi come out with the women's championship of SmackDown to go and to be their representative for WrestleMania? Okay, that actually does sound interesting, but like really, what was Naomi doing beforehand? Like, originally they were going to do a triple threat match between Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Naomi back in November, but then I think the injury happened and I had to cancel it. That actually explain why Alexa Bliss lost to Naomi 2 times back in October and November. So, yeah, there's that. So, I don't know who really is going to win this match at Elimination Chamber, but it will be. But I hope for a good match. Now let's get to the match that I know is going to be the worst match of the night, and it has no storyline whatsoever. American Alpha versus Slater and Rhino versus Breezango versus the Uso versus the Ascension versus the Vaudevillains, and a tag team turmoil match for the tag team championships of SmackDown. What's the story here? Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, there has been one major weakness to SmackDown since this year started. It's the tag team division. They just, after the Wyatts were no longer in the tag team division, they just sort of put them on the side, like, oh, we'll bring you out when we need you, and not really giving them any storylines. Like the Usos, they went off the grid, especially after their heel turn, and everyone wanted to see a heel turn. Now it's like they lost relevancy, like 3 weeks later. The Ascension, oh well, who cares about them? The Vaudevillains, they haven't been interesting since early 2016. Breezango, they're just a comedic duo. Heath Slater and Rhino, they're supposedly having dissension issues, and then they're back to being friends, and then they're having dissension issues, and they're back to being friends. It's really inconsistent. And American Alpha, they have nothing going on for them other than them being tag team champions. So they did a call out. There's a huge epic brawl. Then there's a 12-man tag team match, and surprisingly, the Ascension won. So I'll admit that was surprising, but ultimately, yeah, I really think American Alpha's gonna win this match on the grounds of, well, what else is supposed to happen? So I don't know why should we care about this match? Like, the talent's there, it works, but the stories, they're just not there. You don't feel invested. Like, you just don't. So, sorry about that. I'll have to keep that brief. My bet's on American Alpha on the grounds that, well, they have nothing else going on. Now let's get to what many people consider a potentially could have been great feud with a great storyline, but then devolved into obscurity. Nikki Bella versus Natalya. This has been brewing since November after Natalya sneak attacked Nikki Bella at Survivor Series, and then Carmella got involved and addressed this, saying that Natalya attacked Nikki Bella, where Nikki Bella accused of Carmella. And I really thought Carmella was going to be in this feud. Like, they certainly were doing it, and then they just stopped. Like, after Carmella ran off when Natalya attacked her, I was like, well, there goes Carmella, even though she really has more relevancy in the storyline than she has with James Ellsworth right now. So, yeah, I was disappointed that Carmella wasn't more involved in this feud. So, yeah, especially after the joke she made, like, oh god, that's, oh boy. I'm surprised that they brought that in. When Carmella mentioned Nikki Bella's cosmetic surgery, let's go with that. And, yeah, it was surprising that they did that. But moving on, Natalya confessed that she did it, and she's mostly been accusing Nikki Bella of, well, what Carmella was doing already, exposing Nikki Bella for being a cheater, a politician, a conniving whatever, and is only at the top because of her relationship with John Cena. And I'm surprised they did not make it a literally joke. And like I said at the war in the build-up for Royal Rumble video, that doubt is still there. Like, would Nikki Bella really have gotten this big of success if she hadn't had this relationship with John Cena? And especially all the reports that indicate that John Cena has some sway over Nikki Bella's career. So, yeah. And Nikki Bella tries to be the justified one, the victim here, where you understand where Natalya's coming from. Because eventually, because the women wrestlers, I'm pretty sure a lot of them might think, I'm not 100% certain, this is just a theory, that they probably are jealous that Nikki Bella's at the successful top, yet doesn't have the same talent as Natalya, doesn't have the same talent as Naomi, or doesn't have the same talent as these other famous wrestlers or current wrestlers of the women's division. Yeah, Nikki Bella is at the top, even though her wrestling skills are just okay. And, like, oh, it's because she's dating John Cena. That makes perfect sense. So, yeah. And then it devolved into Natalya complaining about how she's not getting merchandise. Like, okay. That's what you're really mad about? Merchandise? Like, ignore all the political justification you could have went with. No, we gotta complain about merchandise. And then Natalya hinted that Nikki Bella may have also slept with Dolph Ziggler, considering that she pointed out the Dolph Ziggler merchandise by Nikki Bella after pointing out John Cena's merchandise by her. So, I'm wondering, okay, are they doing that? Like, okay, let's see how this goes. And I'm curious to know, why is this just a regular normal match? This was booked to look like it was supposed to be a dark, violent feud between these two women and no disqualifications like they did with Carmella and Nikki Bella. And I'm really confused why they're doing the same storyline, but to a lesser degree already after Carmella. Like, I get it's Nikki Bella, and there is always going to be that huge doubt whether or not she earned all this or whether she politicked with it because, oh, her boyfriend's John Cena, therefore we have to listen to what she says. She clearly knows what she's doing since she scored the most popular guy in the room. And Natalya's character, like, I liked it for most parts, but when it started devolving into this complaint about merchandise for 2 weeks, I was like, well, you lost me. Like, you had a legitimately good reason to go after Nikki Bella. Like, you could have pointed out that her career didn't go as the way she wanted it to because of Nikki Bella's relationship with John Cena. And then it started bringing in Bret Hart for some reason that made no sense. Like, yeah, Nikki Bella was on a photo with Bret Hart. Oh my god, I'm so triggered. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. So, I'm pretty sure Nikki Bella's going to win this match for the grounds of why not. And then they did this interview that was really boring. Like, wow, I was so disinterested in this. Like, really, really badly. I was so disinterested in this. And I'm curious as to know. Um, okay, I'll get back to this part. What I was about to say, I'll get back to that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Nikki Bella's going to win. And then it's going to go into a marquee match at WrestleMania for the women's division. And then word is that she's going to take a hiatus because her neck's bothering her again. But I have one more thing I want to say, but I'll get to that when I talk about the Elimination Chamber. Let's get to the Elimination Chamber. The war for SmackDown Live's future continues as the egotistical politician John Cena takes on and looks to bury AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Baron Corbin, and Bray Wyatt. Meanwhile, Ryan Ward is trying everything he can to maintain momentum over Raw in terms of creativity. The ratings, okay, that's going to be debatable, but creativity-wise, yeah, SmackDown's still superior, especially since Ryan Ward managed to somehow convince Vince, I don't know how, to have John Cena lose his match after winning the 16 belt to Randy Orton clean in a tag team match with no excuses. Yeah. That was interesting. But considering that you only had 2 weeks going on with this, like, there's really not much build. Like, AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose had another match. Miz and Baron Corbin went on commentary. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton are going after John Cena to try and tease us that, oh, Randy Orton and John Cena may happen. As much as I hope it doesn't. Because, while I will admit, the Wyatt version of Orton and versus John Cena does look like a different direction they could go with. It's just that we've seen it so many times with Randy Orton and John Cena. It's just boring. Like, you're at this point, like, oh, it's Randy Orton versus John Cena. Well, skip that. I knew Orton was going to be, if Orton and Cena is the direction they were going to go with, then I would have changed the channel. I don't care if Wyatt's involved because it's the same match we've seen over and over and over and over and over and over and over since what 2007, and they have been nonstop at the same stuff over and over. Like, I get the Wyatt family is a new factor into this feud, but considering that how Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton seems to be building up, especially Luke Harper, it seems like that's the direction they're going to go with. And there are reports going around that John Cena is set to lose the belt at Elimination Chamber to Bray Wyatt. Now, I was both surprised by this, welcoming it, and to a certain degree a little, then what was the point of Cena winning the belt? Like, wouldn't it make more sense if AJ Styles beat John Cena? Beat up John Cena! At Royal Rumble, and then drop the belt at Elimination Chamber to Bray Wyatt. And then they could have just done John Cena versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania instead of the rumored AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania because God knows why. But wouldn't that make more sense? Instead of just giving the belt to John Cena and then dropping it 2 weeks later like it meant nothing. Like, because literally they haven't built this thing up. Like, they're trying to downplay it, and because they said, oh, well, you see, Cena's going to drop the belt in 2 weeks, so we need to downplay it. And I'm like, okay, remember when you had, I don't know, what was it called? Starts with a B. Oh, yeah, it was called Balls, when you played things up and then crushed people's hopes that it would happen. Crush people's hope that they would expect something big, but instead it's just this. Like, everyone predicted that if John Cena won at Royal Rumble, they would get a long reign since he's the 16-time champion. But no, it's once again proving my point that half of Cena's reigns are just transitional belts, not a long title reign. So that made the whole AJ Styles John Cena match kind of remotely pointless since AJ Styles could have been champion, lose it at Elimination Chamber to Bray Wyatt, and they could have just done John Cena versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. But no, we gotta do this logic because John Cena begged for it. Or sucked up to Vince. Now, why do I also think Bray Wyatt's gonna win? Well, look at the stuff they're going with. John Cena and Randy Orton haven't interacted until just recently, and even then, they still had the Bray Wyatt situation to do. AJ Styles doesn't have anything going for him other than his potential feud with Shane McMahon. Dean Ambrose and The Miz, it looked like they were going to do a feud with each other again after the Lumberjack match, but then they just kind of went their separate ways. Like, I was really hoping that Renee Young would get more involved in this feud, but now they haven't. And Baron Corbin, he's just there because, well, we ran out of top talent, so we need to put Baron Corbin in there. And also because we need that big imposing force, the Dark Horse. So all logic says Bray Wyatt's going to win this match. Like, they could do John Cena versus Randy Orton 2,566. So, yeah. But would it make more sense to do Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton since that's been building up since October? Well, technically since after August, around September. So this has been a huge storyline that SmackDown's been doing for months now. So wouldn't it make sense to accumulate it in a WrestleMania match? Like, their first match, No Mercy, yeah, that should not have been the main event. But this time they have a bigger storyline going on, and it has done plot twists. Like, I wasn't expecting Randy Orton to join the Wyatts. I wasn't expecting that. Instead, we got this, and I was like, oh, he's going to turn on them after a couple of weeks. Oh, no, it's still going on. Instead, it's building up to Elimination Chamber, most likely. So, yeah, this has really been an interesting storyline. It's pretty much been the only big long-term storyline they've done since Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. Whereas Miz and Dolph Ziggler just lasted for a couple of months, this one has lasted till WrestleMania since No Mercy. Well, after SummerSlam, but still the process of Orton joining the Wyatts was beginning at No Mercy. And now, the question is, where does that leave John Cena? Well, remember when I mentioned Nikki Bella and the whole you could have put the doubt there character moment in there where Nikki Bella was probably only at the top because of John Cena? Well, what the reports have been saying, fans might say that again. You see, there's word going around that John Cena and Nikki Bella might tag team together against The Miz and Maurice at WrestleMania. Yeah, I'm gonna just take two guesses here. Natalya and Tyson Kidd would have happened if Tyson Kidd wasn't hurt. Let's just go with that. And Maurice and The Miz, they haven't interacted with John Cena and Nikki Bella. So they would have to make something happen in order for this to work. So, yeah. And, yeah, I'm also curious as to know, wait, where are they going to go with that feud? Are they going to continue off the whole John Cena and Nikki Bella are political politicians? Sorry. Are politicians that are striving to take over the WWE from Vince McMahon? They could do that, but pretty sure Vince McMahon doesn't want to be mentioned on television. Since, it was reported that he got triggered and mad when when Alberto Del Rio mentioned his name on television a few years back on Raw, because it's not like they don't know the company can't be mentioned or anything. Oh, wait. So, yeah, they're gonna have to do some creative leaps here to do this, to make that angle work. Like, since Miz and John Cena haven't interacted and Maurice hasn't interacted with Nikki Bella, they're gonna have to do something for Elimination Chamber to start building that up. So I'm curious as to know what this is going to be. This is going to be the big turning point in the WrestleMania build with SmackDown because once more it's SmackDown's superiority over Raw, whereas Raw is just building up these part-timers to feud with the younger guys and some to beat the younger guys, like Kevin Owens versus Goldberg at Fastlane, since we all know Goldberg's going to be Universal Champion for Brock Lesnar and then lose it to Brock Lesnar. Well, we have SmackDown taking risks here, and probably a leap of faith if they really go with Bray Wyatt. So, it's predictable because it most likely is going to be Bray Wyatt, but it's a leap of faith because they're going to have the crazed cult leader that people have compared to Jim Jones, Charles Manson, and Waylon Mercy from WWE back then in the day when people say he's the original Bray Wyatt character. But moving on, no wait, not Waylon Mercy. Trying to remember that guy's name. Okay, I probably forgot, but yeah, it'd be a leap of faith to have Bray Wyatt be the face of the company, since they're always going to build the WWE title over Bray Wyatt over the Universal belt, despite it being on Raw. So yeah, this is going to be interesting to see if they really go in certain directions or leap of faith here, especially. Well, I don't know what they're going to do with the tag team division. Luke Harper, after Bray Wyatt's feud with Randy Orton's done, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Bray Wyatt versus Luke Harper after WrestleMania, which will be an interesting match because they could add elements of dark storytelling and wrestling in it, so that's going to be really interesting. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Elimination Chamber build. This was Near Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.